Actually, what I wanted to put here, since I've messed up my camera settings and all, I just wanted to reiterate I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and that's my real name. And I was kidnapped in 1941. I was 2 years old and brought to Moulton, Alabama. Now, this is my uncle George, who became illegal George the Sixth, Elizabeth's father. So that lineage is all a fake, a phony. They're frauds. This is with Roosevelt, who's a Jew. 1939, the year I was born, excuse me, they were planning my kidnapping. Here, if I can get it on here, right here. This isn't funny. My camera, I didn't know how to set up. Anyway, it's 1939 here. Yeah, that they met. So they're planning my kidnapping. And I want to go over to this. This is a picture of the family where they took me. And this is me about 1943. They brought me here in 41, so I guess that's about right. And this is what the person down there that I grew up with put on here too, right here. And here he says, he sent me this some time back. He said probably 1958 because you weren't, he's telling me I wasn't born then. So he's just confirming what I've said. He knows all about it. So anyway, that's not me. I was born in 39, kidnapped and brought over here and all that. Now then, all that. Hell. What I guess what I want to say on here also, this is, let me say this. This is the illegal imposter is what he is, who portrayed my father, Edward VIII, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. The imposter married Wallace Simpson. My father didn't. My father, again, I'm going to reiterate, was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, who was baby sister to artist George O'Keefe of Sun Prairie or Madison, Wisconsin. And they were married. Some of the family were not happy because my mother was considered a commoner. But this is not the way the British felt, and some of my family, obviously. There's some of my family that's okay, but they're outnumbered by the bad ones who've kept quiet and let sleeping dogs lie, is their attitude. Because in one article and photo I saw some years ago, Diana was escorting someone around and showing where my father was supposed to have abdicated. And her words were, "We don't speak of it. So let sleeping dogs die. It's in the past. Better off, forget about it." They're war crimes, and I'd like to see them pay. And they were installed by the Americans. The Roosevelts are Jews. They're Freemasons. Part of my family is Freemasons with the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. They're a global government that's in power now. I put all that up. The Freemason, New World Order, Illuminati, One World Government, whatever you want to call them, they're the same. I want to say this, though, when they're speaking of calling somebody... what were some of Obama's words? Unfit. He was calling Trump. I wonder who's unfit here. He just got back a few months ago from spending a couple of nights in WINDSOR Castle with Elizabeth, the illegal, while I'm right here in Virginia, not all that many miles from the Capitol, running up and down the mountain, and had tortured all my life, and my sons, every law in the book. And he's going to run over here to Elizabeth, and they're going to bring out William because the other little person, Charlotte, was, excuse me, but I've been through hell, called everything, done things to me and my kids, while my father and mother wondered if they would ever get me back, and they didn't. I wonder just exactly how they lived. My father has been so lied about and defamed. It would be nice, because all these illegal treaties that allowed the Jews to take Israel, And the United States to go in pretending they were being our friends and saved us was a bunch of baloney. And when Hillary says she doesn't know things, she was Secretary of State. Her husband was president and then governor of Arkansas, where, by the way, I'm putting all this in and I'll get strung out here trying to piece it back together. Jesse Ventura filmed, they allowed him in, and he filmed it where the Illuminati, the very people I'm talking about, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, it was either Hot Springs, Arkansas, or Little Rock, I think outside Little Rock. And, the Clintons, you might as well say the two of them were governor, just like president, and would be again if she's elected. The Illuminati be elected. But they lived there in Arkansas. And Bill was born in Hope, Arkansas. But anyway, the Illuminati have gone in. The very people kidnapped me, the New World Order, Freemasons, have gone in to the mountain there and underground and built bunkers. They've got a fancy hotel built there you wouldn't believe, very modern. They've got all the conveniences, and they've got it like everything else posted. Now, how Jesse Ventura got it, I don't know, but it was put up. He went through it. It's there, and it was on HLN. So when Hillary stands there and tells you she doesn't know this and that, she's lying through her teeth. God bless her. She's got some. Okay, I guess that's what I was going to tell. I think I told what I meant to. Anyway, the point about Obama can go and spend the night in Buckingham Palace or in WINDSOR Castle, which was the last place he stayed, he and his wife, and kissy-poo with Elizabeth, while I'm in rags and tortured over here because of her. Now then, I'm getting this off again. I wanted to get, and I probably shouldn't put this up. The photography's all off, and I'm rambling a little bit here because I don't have it written down, and quite frankly, anyway, when I'm around a lot of vehicles that back in with, and they do back in here, and the carbon monoxide comes in, and I can't believe I'm the only one that gets sick. There's a lot of construction going on. So anyway, it's bad. But I wanted to get to the point that Obama has gone down, and I'm not against that, Cuba in any way, but he's gone down there, and now today with all the horrors that are going on in the UK, culture taken over the Protestant faith. I mean, they're burning our flag, and they put up these mosques and all that. They've even got the mayor is not of our faith. You should really, I'm really not getting to it. Britain First is one of the places you can go and get the truth. It's the horror that's going on, the rape and everything that's going on in the UK by these immigrants who were really, it's an invasion. It's what the United States, when they kidnapped me and took out my father and inserted their own monarch in the illegal treaties that allowed them to take over Great Britain, it's what they brought about. And Great Britain is, well, I guess I can turn around here and try this. Great Britain's a hostage just like me. And they were forced to fight against their own interests. Everything belongs to the United States now. They call it something else. They call it giving it independence. It's under the New World Order, or a territory, etc. So now then, Cuba today, there's all these planes flying in there, and all the Hispanics who are so happy to go back home and see their family, and everybody's just happy, and then no focus on what's being done to the UK or me or Germany or the rest of Europe. Not really. So I guess that's about all I was going to say. Obama, Elizabeth, are you all happy? Clintons, Rothschilds, Rockefellers. And this doesn't just go to the Clintons. This goes back, and all you have to do is Google where they went to college, the former presidents. They were Freemasons, Illuminati, one world government. And except Jimmy Carter. I don't think Jimmy Carter, I think he's a good guy. I don't think he cared that much or tried, or maybe he did, with what happened to me, because he sure, as they all do up in Congress, way back to when I was kidnapped. But certainly, Sparkman, John Sparkman was the senator, U.S. senator from Alabama. And I mean, you talk about hostage money coming in. The United States doesn't pay hostage. They sure collected it off of me, forms of illegal treaties. And I often wonder, in getting Warner von Braun making deals, keeping me alive to get scientists to come over here, who do you think really built NASA, Huntsville, Alabama, Marshall Space Flight Center, where they go in and give us the Marshall Plan, when they went in under the guise of being friends of the British, and they took us over. And then they go into countries and destroy it, and then act like the good guy and rebuild it, the Marshall Plan. You have to pay them. But they brought it, the original construction. I better just stop because I'm tired and I'm just being redundant and beating a dead horse, I guess, whatever that saying is. Sleeping dogs lie. They'd love for me to have just disappeared, died, Elizabeth, and some of the people here, because really I've been a joke to them. It doesn't matter what they've done to me. I have been told by some vets a long time ago, before I found out about my kidnapping, but they knew it. I was working in Huntsville for the district attorney in 80, and I can't remember his name, but he said it to me, and I thought it was odd at the time. He said, well, if we ever give it back to anybody, we won't give it back to the United Kingdom or the Brits. We'll give it back to the Indians. So that's how much they think of me, of Great Britain, and what they did to me. It's the oddest thing to have someone hate me because they committed the crimes, and I'm going to go, that's all I can put up. Other than one more thing. And I'm sure they'll get mad, because I'm going to put it bluntly like Trump does. The illegal immigrants that are here, and they're up in the millions, the last I heard the other day, they were allowed to come in here, and that many collect, and nobody did anything about it. You should ask yourself why. What was the point that they weren't sent back then? Now then, everybody is, Hillary wants their votes. So she gets the Hispanics' votes, because they're going to stick together if they're here legally, come in from Cuba, come in from where, and they're here legally. They're going to take up for their relatives or their Hispanic friends, and that's their culture and their race. So it's almost like, gimme, gimme, gimme. How much can you give me? And then they come in, and suddenly it belongs to them. They're even going up, and this just really gets me and proves my point, at Trump Tower, and they've chained themselves, and they're protesting for their human rights and them being mistreated. They're here illegally. That means they're criminals. And just because they used having a baby and they got jobs that weren't yours, America, and they've used emergency rooms and health and all of that, and they'll get your Social Security. I already have. Hillary is just widening the giveaway plans. They're going to have it all, and they're not even legal here. So when I say something, they're going to get their backs up, because it's a piece of the pie that's free. Just because they're here illegally, they're saying they should stay. And you all can go to, I admire Trump. I really do. He's told the truth, and That's the way it is. They should be deported. And if you want to go back to what brought them here and what the United States did to Honduras and all that, then you go back and do that. And they took it from Great Britain.